If you're getting to that point and thinking, what are we going to do this summer? How am I going to keep people entertained, especially the children? Well, have we got something for you? It's called the Morph Trail, and it's completely free, and you can do this around London. And let me tell you right from the start, when I was filming this, there were no children in sight. It was adults trying to take selfies and climbing on these morphs. So the great thing is you can download this app from your app store, be it on Google or alternatively on Apple. When you download it, you can then see all of the different morphs. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like a little bit later, but in the meantime, let me show you some of the morphs that we've got and that we've actually taken video of. Now, in total on the trail, there are 56 different places where you can go and see morph across London. Most of those are in the city, and as you can see, what better way to get around London and also see the great sights. And as you can see here, we're on the South Bank outside the Tate Modern, and there you've got St Paul's Cathedral and the City of London over the other side of the Thames with the Millennium Bridge behind you. So what a fantastic way to get out with the family, investigate London completely for free, and pick up these morphs as you're going along. When I say pick up, actually you can get photographs. Anyway, you can do other things with them as well, but we'll have a look at that more as we go on this video. So not only have you got the 6-foot morphs that we've seen already, but you've also got some of these mini ones which are in various windows of shops, cafes or restaurants. So the good news is it doesn't matter what time of day you do the morph trail, you can see these. Now, what you'll notice when you're looking at these, you've got these plaques that are in front, and it tells you a bit about each of the morphs, and they've all got their own name, but they've also got a 4-digit pin which you can go to the app and you can input into the app to show that you found it. You see, it's now all starting to come together and make sense. Now this Scottish morph is right outside St Paul's Cathedral. As I said, what a better way to see the City of London than to actually go and find these morphs. I'm going to tell you a bit more about morph as we go on. So if you're looking at this and think, cool, this is vaguely familiar. Right, so Morph originally started in a program called Take Heart, which was part of Vision On, which was back in February 1977. So yes, he's been around for a long time. And actually, it's a sort of a clay stop motion comedy animation, which was named after the main character, which of course was Morph. And he was a small plasticine man who spoke an unintelligible language, a sort of that sort of thing as he goes through. See? Can even do morph impressions, but don't tell anyone else. Anyway, lives on a tabletop and he's got a bedroom, which is a small wooden box. Now, what's happened more recently is Aardman Animations, those responsible for Wallace and Gromit, have taken over the Morph character. And now it's a very, very popular TV series for children. Now, as I said, going back, it originally started in 1977. So if you're of a certain age, you may well remember the original morphs, but now they've made it and they've come back for the children of now. So I've showed you already, there's a lot of information you can get from the app, and we're going to go into the app shortly and show you how you log each of the different morphs that you find if you're doing it. But also there's a PDF that you can download. Now the good news is you don't even need to do that, because if you go to our website londonvisited.co.uk and go into our guide section, I've added the PDF on there, and that will be on there until the end of the Morph Trail. Once again, this is completely free and you can do it anytime you like. Now, as you can see here, we're in the shopping centre, which is right opposite St Paul's Cathedral. So as you can see, these are scattered all over the place, but mainly in the City of London. So it's a great way to walk around, take in some fresh air, see the Thames and see some of the great sights as well. Now, one of the other things I really do recommend, and I didn't actually catch this till a little bit later, not only look at the front of the morphs because they look beautiful, but also look at the back. And this one, as you can see, you've got some of London scene, and you've also got the Eurostar there as well as all the flowers, and each one is completely different. Now, something great about this is not only is it a free trail, but it's also completely accessible. It is completely step-free if you want to take in all of the morphs across London. And the reason it's been designed like that is one of the partners that were key behind here, and you may well have seen their symbols on the different statues, is WizKids. Now, they are the UK's leading charities for supporting young wheelchair users up to the age of 25 years old. And the reason they've taken an active role in this is because they really want to make it aware and make people aware that if you need to use a wheelchair, it's not a bad thing in society. It's something that's become much more acceptable, although it does feel hard. So the idea of WizKids as a charity is to help break down barriers, is to help users with their equipment, support, and help build confidence in the users of wheelchairs and other accessibilities, which is a fantastic reason to support this charity. Now, one thing I didn't mention earlier is if you download the app, there's a 99p fee. It's a one-off fee, it's not a subscription or anything else like that, and that money goes direct to WizKids, which I think is probably well worth it, to say the least. So I'm really hoping that as people come to London, they're going to get involved in this trail. Now, I'm going to say it again. I saw no children at all near any of these morphs, but what I did find was lots and lots of adults taking selfies. Yes, I've got a funny feeling the adults are going to be pushing the children out the way, but do remember it's school holidays coming up very, very shortly, so do let the children near the different statues, will you? The trail started in the middle of June and it's on until the 20th of August. So basically that gives you 8 weeks to come and find the sculptures, to come and have your photo taken with them. And there's various other things that you can do as well, which we're going to tell you all about. And there you go. I see some children actually spotting a morph, not just the adults. Now, as I said earlier, WizKids is one of the main charities which is involved in this. And what they're going to do at the end is they're going to auction off all of the different morph sculptures to raise funds for WizKids. And also, whilst you're looking at the different sculptures, if you're interested in actually putting in an auction bid for them, you can do that, and it gives you the instructions on the different sculptures. So if you fancy one and taking a look at it and go, yeah, that's the one I really want, then you can actually start by putting in a bid even well before the trail is finished. Now, what I wanted to show here is that some of the statues are really, really close together. You remember at the beginning there was 4 very, very closely together, actually right next to each other. And here by St Paul's Cathedral, you've actually got, there's about 4 or 5, which are almost bang on top of each other. So if you've got a small family or people that don't actually want to walk that far, you don't have to go that far to see a number of different ones, which is also another great thing about the whole trail. Now, on the website and also on the app, it tells you more about each of the morph sculptures. It tells you who actually designed them and painted them, so it gives you the whole story. And there's one which is called Captain Compass as an example. And the sculpture was actually inspired by the diversity of the school that decorated it. And the students were told stories of boats and ship journeys, which were made by local sailors to the corners of the globe. As a result, they understood why their school area was diverse and open to so many different communities, so their morph was all dressed up in Rose Compass's designs. Now, the other thing I love here as well is, did you like that one? That one's called The Bard. Yes, it's Morph the Bard. And why? Because it's right by Shakespeare's Globe Theatre on Bankside. What a fantastic way to sort of tie into the London monuments as well. Love Shakespeare or not as a child. And what I love is it takes in different times as well. So do you remember this? Morph says relax. Yep, back to Frankie Goes to Hollywood times of the 80s. And if you lived it, and how about that Sony Walkman with the cassette there? And then when you go round the back of the morph and go and have a look and see what it says on the back of the t-shirt, can you name the group that this was after in the 80s as well? Let us know in the comments down below. By the way, there is no prize, it's for fun, alright? We do that on a Sunday. So during my short walkabout today to get all of these, I took a note of all the numbers, and now I'm in the high 20s of those collected. So only another 50 to go, but I've got a funny feeling I'll be knocking those off as I walk around the City of London between now and the 20th of August. So, have you collected any? Have you seen any around? And have you got a selfie with them? So in a second, I'm going to show you the app and what it looks like by showing you a sort of some screen recorder and how you actually log them, but also how you can go in and see all of the different morphs that are available, all the different artwork. But what I'd really like to know is down below, tell us which is your favourite morph that we've shown you here. There are all different types. I know which one's my favourite, and you could probably guess as well by the fact that we have a channel called London Visited. Yeah, you probably saw it earlier and thought, I bet you that's Steve's favourite. But anyway, do let us know in the comments down below which was your favourite one. So let's have a look at the app. When you go into the app, it opens up like this, and then it takes you in, which you can then scroll down. Now you can add a different morph that you see by pressing the plus button there, or alternatively you've got a little menu at the bottom and there's one in the middle that says collect. Now as you can see, it's got pictures of all the different ones. Now each sculpture's got a 4-digit number, and one of the 4 digits happens to be that one, 8643. When you put that in, it says well done, you've collected a new sculpture, and then you can go in and view the sculpture that you collected. So that was the very first one that we showed at the beginning, and that's the one over at Blackfriars Station. So here I'm just going to put in another one as well just to show you. And this one was the second one that we saw by the banks of the River Thames with the St Paul's Cathedral behind. And then as you can see, you can check your progress, and now I found 2 out of 79 of them. Now, I'm just going to emphasise there are 56 different morph sites, and the reason there are 79 is of course in some of them you've got groups of 3 mini ones, so they all add up and that what makes the 79. So really hope you've enjoyed our morph trail. It's an idea of something to do in London this summer, and I've put another video of other things to do in summer in London in the top right hand corner.